Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Rounds. I'm an application engineer at Omega Engineering, and today we're going to be introducing to you our Platinum line of controllers and panel meters. For those of you familiar with our PID controllers and panel meters over the years, our main product line has been what's called the I-Series. And the I-Series is a fantastic product. It's still in production, but it is getting older. It is about 10 years old now, and we decided to take all the feedback from our customers over the last 10 years of features they'd want and put them into a brand new product called the Platinum. The Platinum series comes in three sizes like the I-Series, where you have 16th DIN, 8th DIN, and 32nd DIN. And the two larger sizes are single display or dual display. Some of the features that make the Platinum series unique is that it has a much larger microprocessor and ADD converter than the standard I-Series has. The Platinum series has a 32-bit microprocessor and a 24-bit ADD converter. That gives the unit a 20 sample per second read rate. And with that type of much, a 3 or 4 times higher read rate than the I-Series, that's going to help tremendously with your PID control, which will allow you to get to set point without oscillation or overshoot or undershoot. The unit also has full auto tuning capability and fuzzy logic and adaptive control, which will allow you the unit will make changes on its own after you've reached set point as you have variations in your process, such as an oven door opening or a walk-in freezer and the door opens and you let out a good proportion of your temperature. It can get back to set point automatically by shifting its functionality on the fly. Much easier to program than the current I-Series. It has a flat, smart menu structure built much like an Excel spreadsheet. It has three top-level menus that are vertical, and then horizontal off each of those menus you have a series of sub-menus. All the programming can be done through the front panel push buttons or through a free USB-based configuration software that's free for download on the omega.com website. Every unit, regardless of size or option package, will always have a USB port, and with that USB port you can do various functions, including run the communication software, you can download firmware upgrades, you can move programming from one unit to another, or save it on a disk, on a PC, or on a thumb drive. The Platinum series has a 99 profile ramp and soak algorithm, unlike the I-Series, which was single profile. So that gives the Platinum unit functionality of a much more expensive product or even a PLC. And the ramp and soak can go in both directions. It can be in the heating direction or the cooling direction. No jumpers or switches or anything needs to be done hardware-wise to change the configuration. It's all done by firmware, and that includes excitation voltages. It's all done by programming, either the configuration software or through the front panel push buttons. There are no mutually exclusive options in the Platinum series, unlike the I-Series where you ordered a certain option would negate another possible option. This unit has 3 outputs possible in the controller version. That includes a 32nd DIN size, unlike the I-Series, which was only 2 outputs, and you can have 3 forms of communications in each unit. You can have the standard USB, you can also have serial, and you can have Ethernet all together in one unit, all running at the same time. Full bipolar display with polarity sign, so the negative sign will not take up part of the leftmost digit. So you can have a full negative 9999 counts on the display. Remote set point option is standard on the Platinum. No extra ordering criteria or cost. It'll take in an analog or a current voltage or current analog signal and allow you to scale that to alter your set point accordingly. Looking at the data sheet on omega.com, you'll see we start with a description and then we have some specs. Various specs, including the thermocouple and input types. This is a universal input device. It takes process voltage and current, completely bipolar on the voltage ranges. The most popular thermocouples and RTDs, and it does thermistors, unlike the I-Series. Our 3 most popular thermistor ranges, 2252, 5K, and 10K. Looking down farther on the data sheet, you'll see our order guide. This is basically the most popular options that we've discovered. If you go down a little bit farther, you'll see the most important feature, which is the part number builder. This would give you your option package as you program it, and then a price, and you can just put it right in your shopping cart. So, for example, excuse me. let's say you want an 8th DIN meter with dual display, and say you want two DC pulse outputs to drive external SSRs plus an analog output for retransmission. And I don't want serial, but I prefer Ethernet, and I would like DC power. So you put all these options together, and you see it came back with a price of $420. It bases the part number off of these descriptions, so you can see what you're ordering as you place your string together. You've got the option sizes, you got the output codes, and we use the same part number codes as we do on current I-series, where a code 2 is a solid-state relay, a code 3 is a mechanical relay, code 4 is a DC pulse, and code 5 is an analog output, non-isolated. We're soon to have an option which will be an isolated analog output. Serial communication, if you'd like it, is another code. If you don't like it, you leave it blank. Same with the Ethernet. It's a -EIP option. You can have all this together. They're not mutually exclusive. And then, of course, DC power would be the final option code. A future product enhancement will have a universal power supply, so there'll be no need to order DC power. One unit will work with DC or AC, low voltage or high voltage. Scrolling back up on the data sheet, you have important links here, including a PDF of specs. And this is a 5-page PDF sheet that basically goes through some of the more elaborate features of the product, such as cascade control. And it has basically a chart that lists the Platinum versus our competition in regards to unique features and benefits. I went through most of these earlier. And then the order guide, as I showed earlier. Also on the data sheet, click on the manuals. You'll see there's a variety of manuals in here, including the quick start, the full-blown manual, and then the communications manuals, the various communications manuals. If we load the manual was done in a methodology of hyperlink. So let's say rather than going through all 100 pages of the manual, let's say you only want to find out one particular function. So let's scroll down through here and let's say, all right, I want to learn how to set these passwords. So I just go here, click on that section in the header, and it takes me right to the chapter and the page that has to do with that particular function only. So it's an intuitive, smart manual. Okay, also on the data sheet is our software link. This is probably the most important link there is on the data sheet, because the software link will take you to a variety of files, including firmware. On this page in the software link, we'll be having firmware that you can download, firmware for the main unit, firmware for the Ethernet option. As we come out with new firmware, a customer will not have to send in a product for firmware upgrade. And of course, all of our other software, such as our iLog software for data logging and also the free configuration software. So that was a brief introduction. We're going to be showing you, in the next segment, we'll be showing you hands-on on how to use the configuration software and how the unit basically works. Thank you for listening, and refer to omega.com website for more information.